Hello and welcome to Patrick Models and Transports. So here's an update on the Bedford ML, Cooper Craft, there it is. Cooper Craft Bedford ML in 00 gauge. And I'm going to show you what progress I've made. As you can see, it is now blue. So this is a 00 Corgi original omnibus model that I'm using as reference for certain things, and we'll begin with a cab. So I've painted the cab blue. This is the shade of blue that I decided, so it's the Vallejo dark blue with a tiny spot of sky blue in it to sort of cut down that indigo colour. And as you can see, I've already painted the mudguards in gloss black, so they're finished. The mudguards are finished. And first I painted the mudguards in matte black, mudguards and headlamps, and now I've given the mudguards a coat of gloss black and a bit of a touch up as well, because of course there were some points here where then when I gave the second coat of paint, some black had gone on the first coat of blue, then some blue had gone on the black, so I had to touch it up a bit. And it's looking much better. I also painted the inside, because I've looked at lots of photos and videos of these lorries, and the cab is very often painted the same colour as the external part, as the exterior. Then I'm trying not to make it might be an edited video, it might not be an edited video, this one here, it might just be a normal video. I want a single take. Here's the chassis. The chassis, you can see, this is the flatbed bodywork. Runners are painted blue. The chassis, runners and cross members have gone for red, because often these were also painted black. But it would have been, okay, gloss black, black and blue. This, with the red, it gives it a touch of colour. The wheels are complete. Here's the wheels as well. The front axle. The steering wheel's already painted gloss black. I'll have to fit that. Here's the flatbed, painted wood. That's wood and wood colour. So brown, kind of leather brown with a mix, with a spot of yellow inside it. 2 coats. And of course 2 coats of blue. Then at the very end I'll fit the front and rear number plate. Now, finishing. Last night I painted the chrome strips on the radiator grille. Oh, the sunlight has sort of died down, gone away. Add the electric light. So I painted these using the nib pen yet again. Maybe it was quite difficult because the moulding is very fine in this case here, so maybe they're a bit oversized, but let's compare it to a commercial factory made and factory painted Bedford OB bus. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I also painted the headlamps with the same technique, still with the then after using a very fine 0.5 black brush with gloss black paint, I touched up the headlamps, so I'm quite pleased with the results with the cab. Then we have the glazing problem. So looking at videos, and you'll see the video in the description box, the one even in the previous, a video of a Bedford O that I'm using as a model for this lorry. So here at the side on the cab windows, Cooper Craft provided me with this glazing, which would be actually flush, but the cab doors have not got flush glazing. The glazing, the door bulges out, you know? So there's no flush glazing on the doors. The rear cab window, I had to file down its piece of glazing to be able to make it fit, and I'll use That'll be the only piece of factory of Coopercraft glazing that I'm going to use. We remain with the problem of the windscreen, because I've tried, I've fiddled, I've done all sorts of things, and there's no way that I'm ever going to get these pieces of thick glazing in there, because even if I file them, it's just not going to work, because it's very, very difficult to get in here. Probably I should have fitted them before assembling the cab, but that would have been a further problem, because I wouldn't have been able to paint the thing properly. And then you have to mask this very, very small stuff here. It's impossible, it's very difficult, but well, we're working at a very small scale. So what am I planning to do? There'll be, plan one is to use the glazing provided there. This is a piece of windscreen. To use this as a pattern to make my own glazing out of modelling transparent glazing. And I might manage to do that, to then sort of fit it in flush with glue and glaze. I have tried filing down, this is a piece of original windscreen glazing. I filed this down and I tried fitting it into the windscreen frame. It fits. There's some gaps, but that wouldn't really matter, because anyway I would fill in, I was using glue and glaze, and that's also transparent, and it would probably come quite well, and it would come flush. The other option is to not bother with a flush windscreen, so not to complicate my life, and cut a piece or two pieces of glazing to fit. Of course it would be two pieces, because we can see that the front windscreen profile is in a V shape, right? And just glue them with glue and glaze from the inside, so we wouldn't have the flush glazing. But considering we're at a very small scale, I could create an optical illusion by painting the interior part of the windscreen frames in matte black. And this is a typical, I've not got a bus here. I've actually used this technique when I had to replace some glazing on an EFE, a Leyland Atlantean bus, and Arcadia Model Junction, and he also uses this technique to create a flush glazing effect on coaches that obviously don't have flush glazing. So he paints the interior black, and then he paints the window frames black, and then you don't have this. By painting the interior, just the interior of the window frame, you recreate the effect of the window rubber. In fact, the Bedford ML and O have got their windscreens, their screens are fitted in fitted in rubber. I've got rubber seals, and that would manage to to obtain the desired result of having a sort of look-alike flush glazing without the complication of flush glazing. Anyway, that is the final step. First of all, the next step we're going to do, and I might take advantage right now considering it's nice sunny weather and there's plenty of light in here, I have to paint the cab and the whole vehicle, everything minus the flatbed, with gloss varnish, because this is a civilian lorry or truck, so it's going to have to be glossy, the same as the mudguards. The mudguards are already painted in gloss black paint, so we're okay, so we have to paint the rest. So that's the update for the moment. Let me know what you think. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification button, and comment. I always enjoy reading your comments, and my policy is always to try and answer immediately. If for some reason I don't answer immediately, I'll always answer further on. Okay, cheerio, and see you next time. And another thing, I'm like Lieutenant Columbo. Last night, I gave this model a good clean. It had been sitting around in my model cupboard for ages. It had kind of film of dust on it. It was looking really pretty scruffy. And I used my favourite product for cleaning models is LCD screen cleaning solution on a paper tissue and some cotton buds. I generally apply it on with a paintbrush, and then after I clean it with a tissue and with cotton buds, and it's really very shiny, very nice. And then last night when I finished using the silver paint for the chrome and for the headlamps, I picked out the headlamps on the KAMAZ, Soviet KAMAZ truck, and I also picked out the mirrors. You can see the mirrors now are silver. I don't know what you can see, I hope you can see. Okay, so when you've got paint out, always make good use of it, never throw it away. Cheerio. And the last thing I always did, I generally touch up this is the wooden clothes peg I use for holding things and clamping things on, and when I've got leftover paint, I like to touch it up. So there's some blue paint on the yellow. Okay, it's high visibility clothes peg. Cheerio, and see you next time.